Hope you're all doing well. Pet hates. One of the things I dislike is when I see someone on social media dissing another plasterer on a job that they've done. This plasterer done this. I would never leave this like this. They should be ashamed. Name and shame this person and all that. It's wrong. It really is wrong on all levels. Especially if you haven't got the circumstances behind why the work is like that in the first place. You need facts, hard facts, before you start putting your bullshit shit on social media. I understand we have cowboys out there, cowboy builders, cowboy plasterers that take 100% out front and don't turn up or do a horrendous job, and plasterers that ain't got a clue what they're doing and plastering wall without PVA in it and all sorts of shit. I understand about all them plasterers, but these are normally guys that have just started up, thinking they can plaster, gone off us YouTube, right, and think, oh, I can do that, and ain't got a clue and mug people off. Those people, yeah, I can understand them ones. But what I don't like is someone that's, say, been around in a certain city or village for, say, 30, 20, 40, or 5 years, say, and they're just going through a tough time. Their mind's not in the right place. They can't focus. The work is not down to the standard that it would normally have it. You know, or they might have some health problems. You don't know that, but or it could be that they've had a fallout with the customer. The customer is not sticking to the payment terms, and the guy's getting pissed off and think, well, do you know what? If you're going to pay me what I've asked, and this is the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th week, well, I'm just going to drop my standards because you're not paying me what I'm asking you to pay. There's so many reasons. Also, to bear in mind, customers will not tell you the honest story. They will always say, and you get it on Facebook, mainly Facebook, oh, I've been let down by a plasterer. They will never tell you the reason why. It could be that the plasterers booked them in out of just a favour, really, and then realise that they can't fit them in and just say, look, I'm ever sorry, but I'm going to have to pull off. I'm going to have to reschedule. And the customer's like, well, I can't reschedule. You said 3 weeks from now and I've booked everything in around you. That's not really your fault. It's the customer's fault for booking everything in instead of waiting until you finished and maybe land 2 or 3 weeks when you're done to then start booking everyone else in. You see, where a lot of customers go wrong is they'll book you in and immediately they'll book the painter in. So say if you're there for a week, they'll book the painter in the following week. They should book the painter in maybe 2 weeks prior to when you finish. First, to give all the plastering time to go off. And 2, just in case there's a deadline, not a deadline, but there's a day you can't come in or something's come up in your personal life, or you may have to go to another job just to rectify or anything, and it's cost you maybe 2 or 3 days. So that pushes the job back. So therefore, the customer starts getting flappy. You then turn back to the job, and they're saying, oh, the job's not going to get done, I've got painting coming next week, blah, blah, blah. You both have a fallout, and then you decide to get your tools and leave. There's so many scenarios to why sometimes you turn up to a job and the work isn't up to standard, or the work has been half done, or nothing's been done, and you've just been filled with a load of bullshit because they want you to come in and do the job ASAP. Then you get some plasterers, not everyone, but some plasterers will give it the big I am. Oh, I would never leave that like that. Why is that like that? Why ain't that been done? I don't understand why they've overboarded it, or why they've skimmed over our text. I would have overboarded it. Why is that like that? Make themselves sound good to sell, just to get the sale, the pitch. I understand that, you know. Some guys are like that, but they're full of shit. And then what happens is they start throwing on loads of extras on the job. Oh, well, you know, I didn't realise this was going to take that long, and I didn't realise why they decided not to overboard that ceiling, and this. So that's an extra, you know. And then the customer get fucked over of having to pay loads of money. But because they're desperate and need to get it done, they stick to who they got. Instead of maybe getting back to the guy that maybe couldn't do it on that week, or someone that they've always used and just something's come up in their life, so they decide to go for whoever's available. There's so many scenarios to why, So just be mindful, people, right? Be mindful. You do not know what's going on in someone's life. You don't know if they experience health problems, or they've lost someone, or just life isn't going the way they wanted it to go, or their financial problems. I mean, we're men, right? Men don't fucking talk. We don't talk about our problems. We just crack on and get on with it, yeah? So you got to be mindful that most men won't even tell you what's going on in their fucking lives, right? That's just how they are. So if you're going to a job and something ain't right, just think before you open your stupid fucking mouths and start slating that plasterer and then trying to name and shame that person on Facebook without getting all your hard facts first, because that person could get you done for slander as well if everything that you said is not true to what really happened. So bear that in mind as well, right? Just think, what if that was you going through some bullshit in your life and life wasn't going so well for you, and maybe this has happened, that's happened, and you just can't focus the plaster, it's just not going the way you want it, and work isn't going for it, and the standards dropped and that, and you just want to fucking break from it all, yeah? And then you get some donut put your name all over social media, don't use so-and-so. How do you think you're going to fucking feel? Yeah? Exactly. You're not going to like it at all, are you? So, people, be fucking mindful. Be respectful. Understand we're all plasterers. We're all in the same game. And if everyone would stick together, right, there'd be no undercutting one another. We could help each other out by saying, look, mate, listen, I've got a job over in so-and-so, but I can't get to it. Do you reckon you could jump on it for me? And I'll sort you out a good wage for it and that. If everyone looked after each other, trying to fuck each other over, we'd all do right. And we'd all have loads of work on the sites and on the domestics. But also remember, right? Remember this, a lot of guys who are starting up, who are young and got a brand new van, or suddenly they got a van on finance, or mum and dad's helped them get a van, they got all the brand new tools and they've been on a 2 or 3 week course. That's all well and good, and I hope it all works out for you, I really do. But don't take on what you can't handle. Don't start taking on jobs, that you do not have the experience for, and fuck it up, because that's how you're going to get a bad name for yourself. I can understand someone of my age who's been in the trade for over 20 years and more. Things happen. We do make mistakes. But if you're new to this game and you start doing shit like that, you're not going to start off well. So always be honest to your customers and tell them. Say, look, I've been on a course. I've only been doing this for like 3 months. They're not going to pay you 200 quid a day or 180 a day or 160. They're going to pay you what you are worth. So it doesn't matter if you've been on a course. It's really down to the knowledge and experience that you have. You see, the longer you do this, the more you can charge based on the experience that you have. But you got to be flexible on your prices. You got to go with the times. And yeah, cost of living is quite high at the minute, so you got to think, well, if I put my prices in, do I just do it to keep myself ticking over, or do I put my prices in high to get a wage, but only have work as and when it comes in, because people can't afford it? You really have all as well as me. You got to play the game. It's like a fucking game of chess. All right, so play the game and be reasonable, but be honest. Don't bullshit your customers. Say it as it is, and you'll be respected more. But please, don't go on social media and start slating other plasterers and putting stupid comments on, oh, you should do this and you should do that. Give someone sound, good advice, yes. But don't come out of all the negative shit. Because seriously, you do not know what that person's going through. And it's very tough for someone. Anyone can be hard and give it all the bigging on a keyboard and that, but maybe you might walk into that person one day. you might bump into that person and they might have a conversation with you face to face and say, hey, listen, what was that stupid comment that you put on Facebook? Why did you name and shame my business for? And they're going to have it out of you. And you've got to be prepared to back up your story to why you did what you did without no hard facts. Because you're going to be the one in the wrong and humiliated when you find out the real reason to why things went shit for that guy at that time or that girl. You know, we've got women in this trade also. So also be respectful. There are women doing plastering. Some are better than fucking men, you know. But again, a lot of you women, no disrespect here, but you're using a lot of platforms. Instead of doing the plaster and doing a job, you're wearing fucking shorts and silly little fucking tank tops, whatever you want to call them, showing most of your physiques just to gain popularity. You know, if you want to be a plasterer, be a fucking plasterer, yeah? Stop fucking worrying about how people are going to look at you and your body and that. Focus on the fucking job. Do the job. Focus on that. Get your fucking business name out there and get proper respect instead of getting loads of fucking men drooling over you because you're wearing a stupid fucking top and shorts for work. You know, you don't see fucking geezers going to work wearing just fucking pants, do you? You know? We'd get it in the neck, wouldn't we? Though there are guys out there that I've seen on TikTok, all muscle bound, doing these fucking TikTok videos of, you know, like strippers and that. But, you know, anyway, let's just not go into that, right? Because you got men and then you got the phenomenon and I'll end up getting fucking shot, you know, because freedom of speech. So let's not go there. But I'm pretty sure everyone who's on the same wavelength as me knows what I'm saying, right? But I've got all respect for women wanting to get into this trade. Trust me, I do respect you, because plastering is the most physicalist of all the trades, and you have to be physically fit and mentally strong, because it will fucking take its toll on you if you let it. So I do respect you. And out of names and talking about people that, you know, cowboys, remember something else. If a plasterer has been in a town for over 30 years or more, or 20 or more, or 10 or more, even 5 years and more, and have always used their same fucking plastering name, they're not a cowboy, are they? Think about it. But if you've got someone, right, that's set up a business and then that's dissolved, and then they set up another business under another plastering name and then dissolved, and then another plastering name, then yes, you need to be a bit wary. Maybe they are cowboy plasterers that are trying to rip off people and do shitty fucking jobs by taking, say, 80% of the money up front before they even start the job. Mind you, it's the customer's fault for even paying that amount of money up front in the first place. Now, when I first started, I was PB Plastering under my initials, right? And I thought to myself, PB Plastering, yeah, and I went on. This is when I didn't even have a drill. I started off with an Arctic stick, you know, or it's just basically it's a blue plastic with loads of holes in. You can get a bicycle stick as well. I use a bicycle club, but I use an Arctic stick, you know, a little bucket, and I used to mix up by hand. And I was doing that for years. After I come away from labour, and that's how I started mixing up for years. And when I did go on the sites, everyone was using a drill, and they'd go, "Fucking hell, bitch, when are you going to get a drill? You never go back to once you start using a drill." And when I first used a drill, and I mixed up in seconds, and I never looked back. I've always used a drill. But to be honest, sometimes it's nice to go back to the Arctic stick, because it did keep me really fit, and it kept me in shape. You know, I was okay mixing up with drills, yeah, and if you want to get more bags, but you know what? When I was doing that for like 3 or 4 years, consistency, mixing up by hand with Arctic stick, I was getting so fit and really fast. And yeah, when you're doing it day in, day out, it was no different to riding a bike. Anyway, when my oldest was born, I said to the wife, I bought a van, and my wife helped me as well on my business. You know, she helped me get some tools together when I was starting out all them years back, and first hawk and trial, and she helped me get my tools and that, because I was just starting off back then, and she was working full time, and I was earning no money, so she bought my tools for me, helped me in a big way. But her granddad owned, he ran a roofing company, Magpie Roofers, and I thought, Magpie. I like the birds magpie. I've always saluted them, black and white. I think they're magnificent birds, very clever and all. But anyway, when I bought my van all them years ago, I thought I don't want it being PB Plastering, because it's a tongue twister, and there's so many guys out there with PD Plastering, obviously myself, PB, PMP, PMP, and I thought I don't want that. I want something that stands out, unique. No one else has that name. So I googled it on the website, obviously on the internet, and no one. You had Magpie Printers, you had Magpie Builders, and then Magpie this, but no plasterer. So I thought, right, I'm going to get that name, and that's been my plasterer name since 2009. Right, and then I went Magpie Limited when I was doing really well and I was growing the business. Things went south, and then I had to start all over again, but I kept to the name, Magpie Plastering, because I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of me. I've made fuck-ups. I've fucked up on jobs. I've made mistakes. I've made errors. I've failed multiple times. I've done horrendous jobs because my mind hasn't been right. We're only fucking human, and you can only work on your failures, and that's how you get better, and that's how you evolve. But I've also had plasterers that have sabotaged my name and done horrendous fucking jobs. And that's when I went downhill, because I was limited and I had to start all over again. So, understand the background as to why something isn't going right for someone before you go on social media and start naming and shaming a certain individual or a certain plastering company or anyone, in fact. Get your fucking facts right before you start naming and shaming. It's so easy to go off someone else's word than doing your research. Look up that person. How long have they been plastering? Well, that person's been plastering for 10 years. And they've got a few good reviews, and they've got a website, and they live at this address, and what's going on? Perhaps they got some personal problems going on in life. It's unlike them. Maybe I'll give that person a call and see what's going on. Just say, listen, I've just gone and looked at a job, and they said that you were on it, and you walked away, and you let them down or so. I just want to know what's going on. What happened? And they will fill you in of what happened, and then you can get a better understanding. They might say to you and be completely honest, say, listen, it just wasn't me, just had enough. I've just, life's not doing, things are not doing too good for me at the minute, and I just fucked up, and I just thought it's time for me to put away, so I just left it how it is. Or they might say, well, the customer, I had them booked in for 2 weeks, and I had to step away for a few days to go on another job because there was a problem, and they had booked the painter in literally the third week after I'd finished, even though I said give it a week or so to dry. So I booked them in on the 4th week, not the 3rd, and it's clashed, and now they're blaming me, and they've kicked me off the job. And then they're running around trying to find a plasterer, and they always come out of, I've been let down. There's a reason why you've been let down, isn't there? So be honest. Customers, be honest. Don't bullshit plasterers that come around to quote for you. Be truthful and honest, because in the world of plasterers talk, and I like to think that we've got each other's back, and that would ring one of us up and say, listen, someone said this about your plaster name, and I went and looked at a job, and I wanted to quote, and they really hammered you down, and they didn't give me any real facts to what's going on. And I've known you, or I've known of you, and that just seems out of character. What's been going on? Especially if you're all from the same area, you're all in the same cities, or you're all in the same countries. I mean, if I had someone over in Scotland, to be fair, I know plasterers all over England, all over the UK and Ireland, some in America, some in Spain. I've got contacts all over the world in the plastering world, and I do talk, and I keep up with things and what's going on over in America with the dry lining business, and what's happening in Australia, and how things, because you got to keep in line with your business, and you got to know what's going on. And if the materials are going up, and what's coming out, what's new, what innovation's been made, and what can I do to better myself. But anyway, do not name and shame. Okay? Until you get your facts right. And be grateful. Always be grateful that you are doing okay. And aim to do better. And have big dreams and not small dreams. Anyway, be strong.